The question was, do we ever lose on purpose? And it's funny because a lot of people ask that, and the answer is never. Never. Never do we lose on purpose. That was kind of one of the cardinal rules, is you always play correctly. And it's a problem, because when you're playing with fake casino chips, it's easy to play perfectly. But when you're putting real money out there, and it's $5,000 to $6,000, actually one of the guys on the team, in particular, his name was Neil, a very good technical player, but when he went to actually play in a casino, he was supposed to put out $5,000, and he was only putting out $3,000 or $2,000. His logic being, well, that's a lot of money, and if I'm winning, can I win at $2,000 instead of $5,000? The answer is no. If you're supposed to put out $5,000, you put out $5,000, you never underbet, or you never lose on purpose to try and throw them off your scent. Your act and your persona is what throws them off your scent. You always play perfectly.
More questions? Yep. Microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Christian from Denmark. What kind of edge can you get? Firstly, and then second is just curiosity. The security guards ever got physical on you?
Okay. What edge do we have over the house? Well, the average blackjack player, you guys probably know. What's the average blackjack player lose? I don't know what it is online, but it's somewhere around.
I think blackjack, it's really high. It's like 13%, I think.
The average blackjack player is 13%?
Yeah, they're really
online? Seriously? I didn't know that was possible to lose that much.
Yeah, no, I think if you look at Vegas, the really terrible players, if you take the average, but probably around 1%, I would guess, is what you're going to find.
I usually number the 2%, land-based casinos. I don't know what it's online, but whatever. If you play basic strategy, perfect basic strategy, depending on the rules of the game, you're going to lose about 0.5%. So what that means is every $100 you bet, whether it's one hand of $100 or 10 hands of $10, you risk $100, you're going to lose 50 cents. If you play sitting at a table and play shoes counting cards, you're going to win about 0.5%, which means you're going to make 50 cents instead of losing it. Well, that's not a very productive way. The way we were doing it, you can have a couple, maybe 1 to 2, depends upon the rules of the game again, and actually how aggressive you wanted to play. At a casino that is really kind of clueless, we can play more aggressively and go, we actually work out about 2.5%. Because it was a business for us. We had computer simulation. We modeled everything we did. We kept detailed records. People have this impression that we were just some crazy high rollers, gamblers. We weren't gamblers. We didn't consider ourselves gamblers at all. Very rarely did we, really go out and just let loose when we were working in Vegas, because that's what we were doing. We were working. And actually, the one time we actually went to a strip club in Vegas was the weekend we actually won $500,000. Then we decided to actually have a little fun. That's the only time as the team. Maybe some individual guys did on their own. I don't know. But as a team, that was the only time we really went out and let loose. And your second question was, do anyone get physical? They try and strong arm you. With me personally, no. But some of the guys on the team, they would grab their arms and try and force them. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is not illegal. So if they detain you and take you against your will and put you in the back room, they could actually get prosecuted for kidnapping. That's the textbook definition of kidnapping, holding me against my will. So what they try and do is they say, come with me. And they're not actually physically, so you're gonna feel intimidated enough that you're gonna go with them because there's security guards and you think you have to go. Well, you don't have to go. And the first time, people who just start playing and the first time, a lot of them, they shouldn't, but they do go because it's intimidating to be surrounded. You're 22, 23 years old, whatever, and having big burly security guards. You should call them heavies or suits. Occasionally they did. As far as actually physically getting beat up, no. There was a couple of times, 2 times, when someone actually had guns pulled on them. Once in the Caribbean and once in Russia. The time in the Caribbean was actually kind of funny because the guy who was playing actually had made about $300,000 at this casino. So he was doing quite well over the course of about a couple of trips. And he had a very good relationship with the casino manager. And the casino manager said, hey, do you want to go golfing tomorrow morning? He said, sure. The guy, everything's fine. They're golfing along. On the back 9, the guy pulls a gun out and says, I want my money back. So not only did he give him the money he won, but they made him give him all the money he came with. So needless to say, we never went back there. So, any other questions? I'll
Will you
repeat
join us
it.
in the casino tonight?
Question was if we're going to the casino tonight. Someone just told me that they have continuous shufflers or automatic shufflers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't win at that, unfortunately. It's like playing online. I think the microphone's there.
Sure. Do you think in general the whole counting cards industry was positive for the casinos because it brought more and more people into the casinos? Probably most of the teams, most of the people trying to count cards are losing money. Eventually, over the course of 7 years, I assume you did a couple of $1 million, but probably a lot of people trying to count cards lost several dozen millions of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, the casinos won't tell you in an open forum that they love card counting because they won't. They'll talk about it as if it's criminal. But in closed doors, it's kind of funny because we actually had a television show that we wanted a large casino company, who I won't say, but their name's Harris. We were with their executives, their top level people, about doing a television show with them. And it was kind of funny because they were actually really appreciated us. Kind of said, yeah, we understand. They understood that card counting was what brings a lot of people to their blackjack tables. But they would never admit that outside of a closed room. But they do understand it, though.
Once the table turned positive, would you always bet the table maximum?
That's a good question. You're getting a little technical question. The question was, I'll repeat it in case someone didn't hear it. Once the table turned positive for the player, would you automatically bet the table maximum? Because theoretically, that maximizes your is everyone familiar with the concept of expected value? Like if I'm flipping a coin, weighted 50-50, and if it's heads, I pay you $1, tails, you pay me $1. We would play this game all day, and we're at the end of the day, we're just going to be switching the dollar back and forth. Maybe you get a little run, I'll have a little run, but there's zero. The expected value of the game is zero. Now, if the coin is now weighted 52% in my favor, 48 in your, eventually I'm going to make enough money. And if it's weighted 52% in my favor and it's $1, fine. But what if it's $10 million? Would you play that game? Well, you're not only interested in maximizing your EV, you're also interested in minimizing your variance, minimizing your standard deviation. Because I don't have 10 million times, if I lose 5 times in a row, I'm not going to be able to pay you. So one of the big things you're trying to do is maximize your EV, but hedge that against the variance that you're putting up. So the answer actually is no, we wouldn't. For a time, we usually capped our bankroll at about $1 million because you can do all the calculations, but the short version is when you have a $1,000 betting unit, which means you're betting from up to maybe $5,000 to $6,000 on a regular basis. With the $1 million bankroll, you can do the calculation and show that that's pretty much almost a 0% chance of losing your money. That's enough bankroll to minimize all the possible swings that you could expect by betting $5,000, but up to $5,000, I should say. We actually, for a while, let our bankroll go to $2 million, and then did exactly what you said. It was every time it got positive, bet $5,000. What that does is you have huge swings, and it just wasn't, it wasn't as comfortable for us. And we really preferred just doing the way we were doing, so we went back after a couple months. But that's a good question.